please.
Microphone muted. Microphone activated.
9 is the hardest number to wait at. Alright.
Hey, Megla. Alright.
Alright. Plug arena. Alright, stream is live. This is Battle Arena, hosted by Trinity Force Podcast. It's a game where players from Bronze 5 to Silver 5 play against each other and receive feedback to improve their own gameplay. There's also Battle Arena on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for players from Bronze 5 to Gold 1 if you're a little too high for this. Check us at trinityforcenetwork.com and check out Reddit/r/tforcenetwork. You can also join what I have up here on stream in game chat room T-Force. This will help you get into feature games, normal games, in-house 5v5s in the evenings, a lot of things. Also check out Four Words, Oslo podcast, LCS Rundown, and the T-Force podcast. There are 5 podcasts a week. They're all on the website, trinityforcenetwork.com. Rules are, don't BM other players. This is supposed to be solo queue, but don't be toxic. Don't use TeamSpeak, and have fun. And also take it somewhat seriously. People are here to learn, so create an environment in which they can learn. If you want to play AP Jungle Vayne, play it in normals. The T-Force chat room may be helpful for that. And remember, if you have any questions throughout the game, feel free to ask questions in Twitch chat. We have enough expertise in our cast to handle any role, any champion, so on and so forth. Even if it's not about Bronze Bootcamp and you just have a general question, feel free to ask. And if you are in chat and you're not playing this game, join in-game chat room T-Force or just watch stream and we'll give you a heads up when the next lobby is about to start so we can shoot you an invite. And VODs will be up on YouTube probably this afternoon if you're interested in watching the game in which you played in.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do I have chat?
So let's discuss the picks going on right now.
I think Knott's a good first pick. I don't know, I like flex picks first, and he's kind of a flex between support and jungle.
Or
top,
jungle,
Kappa.
top, mid
So let's
lane,
discuss the picks
even
going
though that's
on
not a
right
smart
now.
idea.
Yeah. And Nami Trist. That's a decent lane. I'm not a big fan of Nami into Sivir, but
Well, they picked Sivir for the counter pick into Nautilus, since it like basically procs on his passive.
yeah, it's very easy to press spell shield because Nami W is a slower animation and so is her Q. That is one Kappa.
For sure, Cleanse and Clarity are just trolls right now. Just so anybody on stream can't see it.
Well, I'm guessing he still has to decide whether he's going jungle or top, and now the decision's being made for him.
Purple team has a lot of AoE.
Yeah, they do. They have weird comp though. Sivir and Ziggs in the same comp is always strange to me.
Yeah, like I don't think I've seen it much, but you'd think they would destroy the same area, just pretty well.
I like that they have Leona Ziggs Sivir. Like, if Leona ults with the Sivir ult, Ziggs can just bomb it.
Yep.
But
There's gonna be a glorious like mid lane roams if both Rek'Sai and Leona decide to be invited.
I kind of like Volibear into Rek'Sai. I feel like he's one of the early game junglers who can compete with him.
yeah, Volibear is very, very strong ganker early game. Especially into Leona. Like, one of the bigger counters to Leona is her lane phase pre-6 has some issues in certain matchups, and she's really easy to camp. Because the only way for Leona to have lane presence is to, like, make herself gankable.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Sivir wants to be up against the enemy turret.
Mm-hmm.
And now this kind of helps Volibear and get like Volibear's weakness, I
Yeah.
guess you could say, is running at the opponent, but Nautilus can help solve that problem real quick with a hook or ultimate.
Okay.
They really need a Barnacle skin for Maokai, and then we can have a Nautilus Maokai like versus lane.
Oh, looks like it will be not top. Alright.
And in goes the Maokai jungle, which is I personally really like it. Makes you a great initiator, and your pre-6 roams are still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I hope they trade. I think Maokai top Rek'Sai jungle is a lot better. But
Yeah.
I think they're
Oh no, I'll agree with that.
okay in their respective roles that they're in now. Priest is a good Zed. I'll be interested to see this matchup mid lane. And Nautilus top, oh god. We saw one of these in Battle Arena. Or, no, you weren't casting that game with me, Tuco, were you?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was the third game.
Yeah, that was...
He was versus Swain, I believe.
Oh, that's such a bad lane. This lane's a little better.
Yeah, Nautilus is good against other melees. He can be really oppressive if he gets a few good W autos on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird seeing Rek'Sai and Nautilus facing off, not in the jungle.
Alright, so, lanes in general. I don't know if Zed can kill Ziggs with barrier. Maybe if he can bait barrier and then kill him with next ult. But Zed should have priority as well. If Ziggs wants to do well in the lane, his goal is to like push 1 through 5 as hard as he can. And Zed and Ziggs kind of play similar in the wave. They both play off the wave because you don't want to let Zed hit you with shurikens and push the wave at the same time. And same with Ziggs, you don't want to get hit with Qs and let him push the wave. Force him to play like whack-a-mole off the lane. Jungle, Volibear's goal should be to pressure the map as hard as he can early game. He has 2 lanes that can, Tristana and Zed, that can really snowball. And Maokai is not a strong early game jungler. So he could
He can
really
get off
snowball
a
this game.
decent gank, but yeah, he doesn't have the health or defense to put up in a prolonged fight early levels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Maokai, as far as Maokai is concerned, Maokai jungle, why it used to be popular and why it's okay now, is ganking mid's one of the easiest ways to snowball a game. But mid's an awkward lane and it's hard for a lot of champions to gank. Maokai's one of the better champions at ganking mid. So if Zed is pushed up, he may want to take it. Although when they reworked him, they hurt his W range a little bit, so a little less so than old Maokai. Bot lane. Pretty even lane. Nami and Trist need to win as hard as they can pre-6, and they need to try and make sure they have their summoners up at 6. Leona's goals for the lane should be to abuse level 2 as hard as she can, and to try and get summoners pre-6, because when you're playing Leona, if you can get summoner advantage pre-6, it's usually a pretty free fight.
Yeah.
Nautilus Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai just needs to bully that lane and not let Nautilus scale. Nautilus with solo lane items can kind of be hard to deal with. You just have to beat him badly enough he can't get solo lane items.
But it's the same thing with Nautilus against Rek'Sai. It's like if either of them get snowballing, they're both just going to make each other's lives miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess he's probably gonna build Rod of Ages first on Nautilus, but if he gets super behind, I would like to see Righteous Glory on him. Just because Rod of Ages takes way too long to stack up versus Righteous.
Yeah, the Nautilus in our game last night got Glory, and it actually did pretty well.
Oh, alright.
He ran runes similar to Maokai. I think Nautilus and Maokai are very similar top. The attack speed runes are pretty good with Nautilus's W. And they help his auto spacing a lot, just so he doesn't eat as much harass. Alright, loading in the game. Bomb got deathwinged.
Worst card in the game.
Worst card in the game. Deathwing's pretty good in Arena.
Oh yeah.
A lot of champion masteries. Wow.
We're going to see a Zed Master versus the Ziggs Master.
Damn.
Interesting. Wow. Red has 5 skins. Lancifer needs to buy a skin. I think Lancifer is going to be the only person in this game without a skin. I'm pretty sure 4 Versus has Police Willow Bear. Alright, so anybody out there watching Twitch chat, who do you think is going to win this game and why? I'm not sure if we have a ton of viewers yet because we just started, but
They have like 11, I think.
that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think BBC is usually around 20, 25. But who do you think is going to win and why, Vom? What are your predictions?
Hashtag Team Blue Team or hashtag Purple Team.
I have no idea what he's talking about at that point.
Talk Arcade 9 note. It's a Hearthstone reference. Vom plays a lot of Cardstone. Purple team, more skins. Alright. Anybody else
Team more
out there
skins, that's a legit
want to
argument.
refute?
I believe in Team Foreskin.
Team Foreskin.
So does Liam Mortis.
Alright.
Liam Mortis.
So we have Purple Team more skins or hashtag Team Foreskin.
Let's see how everyone decides to start off. I will say the one camp start is really obnoxious, regardless of who you're facing.
Yeah, it is. Usually when you want to start one camp, you start a door inside them as well. So I think they're both likely going to do it. Never mind, now it's just sold.
I've seen people do this where they get flask, and instead of getting 3 potions, they clear chem and then go back and come back with a cloth armor.
It's not bad.
As an AD, it's really obnoxious to deal with.
I can imagine a Nasus coming back with cloth flask 3 pots. Alright, so pace is 58. We have a sign-up sheet for Bronze Bootcamp. So if you want to make sure you get in Game 2, Game 1, Game 3, any of the games you want, check out the sign-up sheet. If somebody could toss that link into chat.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, whoops, I still have the overlay up. I'm sorry. So if you want to pick what game you play in the future, check out the sign-up sheet. And if you want to play in Game 2 or Game 3 today, stick around, and we'll send you an invite. Thank you, bud. Sounds good. I'm excited to see you play. Pace is 58.
As long as he takes part in Team Foreskin, I'll have no issue.
Alright, so generally one of the things we look for here at Bronze Bootcamp and Battle Arena is people who skill level 1 when they don't need to. Somebody paused.
Yeah, the Tristan hasn't connected.
We'll take a second to talk about that. Who is it? MXC. I played him a few times. I'm sure he'll come back. The reason you don't do this is, I don't know, let's say you're playing Sibber and you get invaded and you started Q if you can't spell shield, you might die by like 20 damage to an ignite when you flash out the tower. So it's important just, I don't know, control level up your skill when you get to lane. Unless you really, really need it.
That or unless you're a few selective champions, such as Azir.
Yeah, unless you're Z or Zillion. I guess
Or
you could do
Mordekaiser.
speed. Yeah. I don't know, Mord could do E or he could do W if he got invaded. W might be okay. If you live by like 15 health and you take W, I'll call you a god. The extra resist. Paladin, Shaman, Hunter, Arena.
Okay, she's back.
Paladin or Hunter.
You play Hunter. Smork. I only see face. Smork.
Play Hunter so you can watch the stream at the same time and not worry about the game. Alright, cool. Trista's back in the game.
Nice. Oh, I like that Tristana skin quite a bit.
Paladin.
So, a server here, you want to be leashing for your AD, I mean your jungler. Just in
Yeah,
general,
especially with a
leash.
slow starter like Maokai.
The amount
take a
of
lot of
damage
damage.
you're gonna get off early isn't gonna be worth like screwing over your jungler.
So,
It
as,
looks like Rexa's gonna take a camp level 1.
as Maokai jungle, you want to start blue buff with your bot lane and saplings. And then transition into wolves, and then either scuttle or gromp. You do this because stacking saplings makes blue go really fast. It's intuitive because you want to counterintuitive because you want to start gromp, but there's some junglers that actually start blue. I've been seeing that more in LCS too, and solo queue. Gromp only gives 5% bonus health now, which really isn't a lot if you think about it.
Ziggs, you need to be playing it back a little bit more. Using the wave as your buffer instead of trying to get up close. Getting your autos off are important, but not important enough to be taking shurikens to the face.
This is good.
Yeah, so as a top laner, when you see someone do a camp level 1, and if they might have an item advantage on you, you want to play somewhat safe. Especially versus a lane bully like Rek'Sai. You're probably not going to win most trades until you get a catalyst or maybe even a blasting ward, depending.
I like Maokai's move there to take the Scuttle Crab, just because he was really low on health after the clear against the Gromp and blue buff. Just trying to get experience any way possible.
I think on Scuttle, if you're gonna do Scuttle, you want to take wolves and leave a hard camp like Gromp or Blue
Oh,
for
it's close
yourself.
top lane.
And super swag. And
I wonder,
also,
did the caster minions do a lot of damage there? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fighting under blue casters.
Maokai didn't have a lot of ward coverage there, so Volibear went with the red-centric Scuttle route, which I think most Volibear players do now. He probably would have just solo killed Maokai.
Oh yeah.
It was,
Maokai was really low when he started that.
I don't know. Taking Scuttle when you need health is good, but you also need to think about where the other jungler is, because like 1 out of 10 times you'll just die doing that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Leona communicated to Sivir that they need to let the wave push out, because Leona's kind of put in a position where she couldn't do anything, because they basically just forced all the minions up the turret. And I'll give it to Leona, that's a good way of getting what you want done.
So it looks like Nautilus is going for the Rod of Ages. I think that's a good buy.
Yeah.
He could have gone Ruby Crystal, Doran Shield if he really wanted to win lane. But
He's getting the most bang for his buck for his gold right now.
hey, Micah.
Nice move by Volibear there. Unfortunately, it's not going to result in a kill, but he used his roar to break the spell shield first before flipping Sivir back.
Yeah, that was well played.
Yeah.
As a jungler, that I actually talked about that quite a bit, and I don't see it happen a lot, but he did it. Thinking about the interaction of spells you need to use when you gank. Which is the bronze team. This isn't Battle Arena SmackDown. Both of these teams are bronze.
And Leona, whenever you're trying to like initiate something, be sure to ping your AD carry. There's a lot of like disconjointed and no one really knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, that's like intuitively, if you play an engaged champion, just like, I don't know, if I'm playing Ramos or something, I have ping bound to control, then drag. Like, I'm using that control drag a lot anytime I engage.
I'll give you props, Ziggs, for doing the smart thing, seeing that Zed was out of lane and then shoving the lane.
Is
Yeah.
the
You really-
Volibear...
You can't let people have free CS when you don't have to give it to them.
Whatever might be DC.
Yeah. That should be unfortunate. I was about to ask where he should go next.
Well, more than likely when
Because
blue
I feel like he
spawns-
might be able to make something happen top lane just because of how aggressive Rek'Sai is playing. But
Well, more than likely blue Ziggs is going to keep on pushing up Ziggs, especially, or Zed, especially when he's going to get blue buff. So if Volibear just camps mid,
Oh, he's
he
bad.
should be able to get some easy kills.
yeah. Because it looks like the bot lane, just because Tristana pushes, well, Sivir should be able to push back, but it looks like she's content just having the wave in front of their tower.
When you're jungling too, if you have two lanes that are pushing, like mid and bot, just hover mid and bot and counter gank.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Oh,
free.
keep attacking Sivir. Oh.
Yeah, when you're counter jungling, you have to always think, where is the jungler going to gank, or where is he? And more than likely, he's going to be bot in this situation.
Yeah, well, they just got a bunch of information right there. They just saw Maokai back in that bush on top of a ward, so
Uh-huh.
they know he's not going to be able to counter gank anything for the next 45 seconds, minute.
Volibear
And here he goes
top.
going top. Yep.
Get to his tunnels.
I should have ulted him out of tunnel. A little too late.
Oh, he didn't go under tower, which is interesting, but I think he'll still make it out.
Does he flip again?
Oh!
I love it.
Lance
They can dive this. especially
Yeah,
if he has
Volibear's got
passive.
aggro.
Oh, that Volibear passive.
Oh no!
Okay.
Uh-oh, is he about to double kill?
Yeah, let's see how this turns
Oh,
out.
he's gonna bite. Bomb.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice play there by Rek'Sai. I think one thing he did really well there was he popped a health potion right away at the beginning of that fight. Oh, whoa.
And Maokai ganked bot.
Yeah.
And going
I
back.
will-
Oh, what were you gonna say?
Ziggs, good job trying to be reactive. Like he shot up a bomb there and he kind of positioned himself so that he could earlier on when he saw that giant mess was going on top lane.
So we were talking about counter jungling earlier. One of the reasons why it's good to pay attention to your lanes that are pushed. I see this complaint a lot when I'm doing jungle lessons. Like, how do I gank a push lane? It's if your lane's pushed, they're probably winning. So if the other jungler ganks, you should be stronger than 2v2. Oh my god. That'll... No, he doesn't have it.
Oh, so
Zed,
close.
yeah, Zed used his ult when Maokai engaged the gank.
Okay.
This Rek'Sai is going to be hard to deal with now. So for Nautilus, you got a kill early. You let Rek'Sai get lane advantage pretty hard when he came back. When he could have just like chugged Flask and traded with W. And you also need to make sure you hit CS. I
Also,
don't think
when you're playing Nautilus, at like regardless of what lane you're playing in, you have to make sure you kind of once you start your attack animation, follow through with it, because at that point you're just doing nothing. And especially since Nautilus has one of the longest attack animations, it can really cost you, especially in trades.
Yeah, maybe try to work on the auto animation canceling, like right after you land that first auto hit W right away. Allows you to hit that second auto very quickly.
I think that's one of the reasons I like the attack speed reds on Nautilus top.
Mhm.
It helps with that a lot.
Yeah, I have a feeling both junglers are gonna start prioritizing Dragon here pretty soon.
Zed went Vamp. It's interesting. With 3 health pots, I would have liked to see him just go 2 long swords or pickaxe. Probably 2 long swords.
Yeah, there you go. Kill bot lane. Cleanly initiated by both Sivir and Leona following through together.
Very good initiation. Tristan might want to try and save her jump until she sees Leona use her ult or E, but yeah, good job overall by Sivir and Leona.
Was there anything that Nami could have done there in that situation? Or?
She honestly should have reacted faster to what was going on.
Yeah,
she
react
was
faster and
hanging around.
communicate with your AD carry before you go off to ward or clear ward.
Alright.
But yeah.
I think the biggest thing was what I talked about before the game. And that if you're playing a Leona lane and you have summoner advantage, you want to take advantage of it. And Tristana didn't have flash to heal there, so that was really free for Leona. Like, Leona loses a lot of 2v2 if you can reposition with flash and she all ends. If you don't have summoners, Leona just destroys you.
Unless you're a cow.
Rek'Sai
cow
here,
doesn't
pushing
care.
his advantage as much as possible, stealing enemy blue. He might run into the Volibear here though. Yeah. Okay, stop.
He wasn't stealing, he was just the world's greatest
He's going
leash.
for it. I don't think he got it though.
Volibear's doing a good
Nautilus
job
is
at
coming
kiting
down.
into his team.
Here we go. Oh, misses the hook. Been a lot of trouble here. I don't think he has
Molly-
a tunnel up for a while. Yeah.
When you're trying to toss, you need to be aware of where you're positioned and where you're gonna throw them. Like, assuming he had a tunnel, that could have been really bad because he would have easily been able to get across and over the wall.
So Sivir, you bought Cloak of Agility. Sivir synergizes really well with Boots because of her passive. If you're sitting on BF pick, usually you just grab tier 2 Boots.
Yeah.
Especially Sivir. That's a good boomerang.
Yeah, the Sivir Leona bot lane has a pretty big advantage right now.
Diggs, unless you... Oh, go ahead.
Just really struggles when she falls behind.
Yeah.
Ziggs, you don't want to be using your satchel in order to harass. That's a really...
Some people do that. You don't do it unless you have blue.
Or you also have knowledge
Or-
of where
or
the enemy
Ludens.
jungler is. Yeah.
You need to know the combos too. You need to be able to satchel into certain spells. There are...
Bear invading.
Oh.
I don't think Ziggs is gonna be able to react.
No, he's
He
too.
can't.
Oh, but
Zed?
here comes Maokai.
Zed has ult. He really needs to be going up to Maokai. This is so
Alright,
free.
Maokai needs.
Zed,
Wally has
ultimate-
passive.
ultimate-
Yeah, he should have reacted like... Both Zed and Makai should have kind of been aware of what was going on. Like, Volley could have turned that around if he wouldn't have been running. Because he had his passive up.
I think he did the correct play there and trying to bait into Zed. I think Zed just really dropped the ball.
Okay, so Chison's way too far forward.
Ooh, this will be
Yeah.
a good time to
Oh.
for Nautilus to TP.
Nice jump out though.
Yeah,
If you don't have
Tristana made a
that
great
forward
jump.
bush warded and you don't see Leona, just assume she's in there.
And Nami had a great bubble.
Looks like Volibear might try to even up the spot lane here. Not a bad decision. A little risky though, it could really snowball against them if it goes south and they give Sivir more kills.
And why wait? This is decent bubble.
Alright, so they forced her out of lane. Sivir and Leona can choose to push and take this tower here. It seems like they wanted to keep this laning phase going a long time, but I think it's about time they took that tower and roamed elsewhere. We'll see what they decide to do. Dawn is playing a very dangerous game though. She's dead.
No.
Oh, nice flash.
Good
Yeah.
exhaust. The Nami's playing it well. She might die for it though. No. Alright, so Tristana, recall where they can't kill you. You got really lucky Nami bailed you out. But that was not a good decision.
Yeah, once they take the bot turret, they can easily start pushing up mid because Zed's wave clear isn't the greatest.
And if his wave clear, he kind of uses his escape to get that massive wave clear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Zed's win condition is also just being ahead on levels and having like CS on his lane at all points in time. And just by like 3-manning mid, you take that win condition away from Zed. A lot of assassins, if you just 3-man in Akali, you shut down Akali.
Oh, does Zed have ult? And Ignite. I think he could have been able to take Ziggs there, but I could be wrong. I think he has
wards
I
too.
think he has significant kill pressure on Ziggs right now, but
Yeah, with the Cutlass, yeah, that would have been an easy slaughter.
A couple creeps from 11, so he may be waiting for that.
oh yeah, that'd be a good idea to wait for that second.
Although I don't think he needed to a couple of times there.
Looks like they're trying to secure blue for Ziggs. He's got it. Oh, put himself in a bad spot.
Ziggs, when you ult, you always want to shoot out where you expect them to be, not where they are.
Okay, so they have 30 seconds till drag. They can easily take this mid tower here if they want before rotating over. Or we can take that pink ward too. And they're gonna get the tower anyway.
And Ziver, whenever you place a pink, you want to put it closer to your end of the map. At least when it's in neutral territory, because at that point you can position yourself in order to defend it. And that position, one simple ward over the wall will basically allow anyone on the blue team with range to kill it.
Yeah. I don't think blue team can contest this dragon right now, unless they were able to get a teleport without Rek'Sai teleporting as well. Oh, here he comes.
So, Rek'Sai canceled TP. Not could try and turn this if he wanted to. He has a ward to TP too as well.
Rek'Sai shouldn't have cancelled that TP.
Whoa. Alright, so
Whoa, going deep in the hole.
don't Zed ult Sivir unless you know spell shields down.
That was probably one of the best shields I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is a good time for Lancefer to really have map pressure now since he has TP advantage.
Yeah, he had advantage there. He
He needs to stop being afraid. Like, he should have really pushed that out.
Do you think cloth armor boots would be good for him, or is it kind of too late laning phase wise for those to be effective?
I think they could still be good in the sense that Sivir and Rek'Sai are a lot of their team's damage.
Like, I'm sure he's going to take a lot of Ziggs bombs as well, but...
So Nami about an amplifying tomb. One of the issues I have here is that she doesn't have inventory spots for her pink. Usually to support, you always want to have an inventory slot open until you're like full build.
And for the most solo queue, you want to have your... You want to be upgraded your states up until at least Frostfang. Like, the amount of gold you actually get from it eventually becomes really substantial.
Especially when you're behind in bot lane, it's better just to try and get that gold generation item instead of just forgetting about it and trying to get a real item, I guess. But
as long as you don't fall into the mania of, I have to get this proc off, and then you end up getting yourself killed.
The red team, a lot of times you want to buy certain items. And let's say you're playing a tank, you want to hit tab frequently to check what your team and the other team is building. Makai and Leona are both going to have glory this game. In vision control, I'd like to see Sweeper on Volley. It's a lot of these BBC games and Battle Arena, I'm seeing people do actually pretty good with warding. One of the issues I'm starting to see crop up is like sweeping is really bad. And junglers can prevent that by either smiting wraiths and or buying sweeper, and or supports buying sweeper as well. And upgrading
You also
as
have to
soon as
remember
possible.
that like the efficiency of your items come in, especially when it comes to trinkets, come in based on when you buy them.
Hey Doctor, there's a question in the chat asking, nice Namiol.
What farm should junglers have by 20-minute mark?
Yep.
As a jungler, I wouldn't worry about your farm. As a jungle, your levels are the most important thing. So let's say like by 8 minutes, it's usually good to be at least level 6 as a jungler. And by 20, you should be looking at like 9, 10, 11. But junglers like supports usually scale harder on levels than like creeps.
That Sivir's a beast, but she
You shouldn't have run out that way. Whenever you're running into that kind of situation, Lancer, you kind of want to position yourself behind the turret. There are about 5 people down there, so at that point you'd have to give that turret up.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest things I've seen in this game too is both top laners really need to work on TPs.
Yep.
If you want to carry as top and solo queue, like Ignite's kind of dead unless you play Rengar. You really want to get teleport and do well with it. Interesting thing on my survey is I saw like quite a few diamond top laners when asked what like the difference between a diamond top laner and somebody 10 divisions higher, so master challenger was. Like every single one of them said TP usage.
Especially if you're playing a tank, like you're not really gonna affect the map by split pushing that well, and you're gonna have to group up eventually, especially if you're behind.
Well, even if you're not playing a tank, let's say you're playing Riven with TP, you need to be good at TP because the tank is going to outscale you. And if you can't use that TP to pressure the map effectively, then, I mean, Makai's just going to hit 4 items and be better than you.
Yeah, I'm just going under the basis that they're just behind.
Yeah.
In general. Oh.
I think TP is good because, like, it's better when you're behind. And if you're really far ahead, it's better because it lets you transition your lead into other parts of the map.
Yep.
I think Ignite's just like, I don't know, it's good for styling on people. But that's
generally just want it if you want to win your lane and snowball.
If you can win a TP over Ignite, that's usually better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but there are some lanes where Ignite is kind of critical to winning against like certain people.
I don't know anybody who takes it
mandatory.
now besides Rengar.
I like how both teams are kind of, even though there's like a full minute till Dragon, they're already positioning around it, trying to gain vision control here.
I like Rek'Sai's build here too. Black Cleaver and Randuin's. He'll be very tanky.
Yeah, it's a good way of not being greedy while still having your damage item, which I appreciate.
There's very little magic damage on blue team.
Yeah, Zed's right now in a really awkward spot because the only priority target that he can get to is Sivir. Because Ziggs just finished his Hourglass, so his ult's going to be kind of worthless.
This blue team, you want to look for the best fight you can get when you're behind. Rek'Sai just ulted top, so this may be the best fight they can get.
Ouch, that damage.
Although they have to commit to it.
Nice spell shield by Hell.
Zed's so close. I think he got it.
He got the
Yeah,
Ignite
she's
off.
dead.
Yeah.
That's really good that he kept auto-attacking there. I see a lot of Zeds who don't auto-attack and it bothers me.
His autos do so much, especially if that passive is up.
Are Olaf and Sion decent picks for a silver trying to climb to gold for jungle?
Oh yeah.
I think your best champion is the best pick at any point in time.
Yeah.
But I think Olaf is really strong in solo queue.
You can play any champion and climb out and get to plat at least.
Unless it's Poppy.
Yeah.
Don't play Poppy. Not because she can't do well, but because I despise that champion in her design, but whatever.
I would say if you want... I'd say Olaf is probably better. He has a little more early game focus, whereas Sion can struggle. And Sion's kind of fallen off a bit. But Warrior and Juggernaut are both good. remember Righteous Glory? Olaf, I've been seeing him a lot in solo queue lately, and I think it's just because of how strong like Righteous Glory Olaf is.
That and his buff.
Yeah, it's the buff and Righteous Glory combined. There's making
Really
him too
good.
fast. Too fast, too
And you also-
furious.
Yeah, at this point, you don't play Scion like you used to play him. You play him basically like you play Maokai without his W. You kind of just are a CC bot that doesn't die, and that's your main priority as a
Microphone
job.
muted. Microphone activated.
Right now, they both need to be establishing like some level of control or ward control over Baron. Dragon's down, Baron's kind of open for red team. So blue side really needs to be getting some level of like deeper wards.
Yeah, I'd really like to see a sweeper on Volibear and probably Zed as well.
That spell shield though.
Hey.
Yeah, when Zed initiated, she should have used his E to remove it. 'Cause
Microphone
he had a
muted.
small window before
Hey, Jack,
she actually
it's
popped.
okay.
Microphone activated.
Oh god, that beautiful. What is it? Did it advance?
Red team is really in control
Yeah.
here, and I feel like they can accelerate this. Yeah, it looks like they're pinging down mid, and Rek'Sai split pushing top. I kind of like the setup they got going, unless they're not going to pressure mid.
Yeah, they just have no wave clear for blue team.
Yeah.
Should be a really easy midterm.
Okay, Sivir is a bit low, so she's gonna go back and buy. I'm just wondering where she should go next, and if she should go with her whole team, or if they should do a split push with
Microphone
Rek'Sai.
activated.
They really should just group up. They're tanky enough to sustain through any fight, and they're fast enough in order to engage any fight. Especially with two Righteous Braves and a Sivir ult.
Yeah, Rek'Sai can save top because of his ultimate, but everyone else should be grouping up mid here.
Yeah, I think the most effective way for Red Team to close this game out is to 1-4-0
Yeah.
or 1-0-4 with Rek'Sai.
And blue team kind of has to hope for a mistake here in that execution,
Microphone
and just
muted.
keep their jungle warded up to tell the truth.
Microphone activated.
Yeah, I think that they have Nautilus, Volibear, Zed, so picks are the way they'd want to come
They
back
can
into
they
this
can make
game.
a pick pretty easily, but it's been hard. Red team hasn't been isolating themselves really.
Is there anything Triss can do to farm safely and get levels and items? Yeah, I think that she really, when she farms, she needs to make sure that she doesn't shove the wave out and snowball it, so that it comes back to her like within the next 5 minutes, and that kind of comes down to lane control. And also, finding spaces when objectives aren't up to just try and do jungle camps can help if you're falling behind on an AD carry.
But that being said, it's really hard to freeze when you're Tristana due to that E passive of hers.
Yeah.
So you generally are going to be pushing up no matter what.
Auto, Trist, auto. Oh.
Alright, so when you know you're gonna die 100%, it's the best thing you can do is just get damage down.
Well, here's that pick
And
we're talking
here's the
about.
Ziggs.
Volibear gets Ziggs.
Ziggs
And
really needs to
Zed is-
respect that Satchel's an escape for him
Yeah.
sometimes.
That was an interesting move there by blue team. They kind of like did a chaos move there and let Zed split push, and they actually got a tower out of it.
Wow, they
But-
really did have Ziggs bombs. They're so easy to dodge now.
I don't remember when they did change that.
Patch or two ago.
Oh, alright.
Zed finished his first item.
Hey, that's something.
I think sometimes people build too reactively for who they're playing against, and you need to build for your win condition. So like Zed bought Hex Drinker here, and
I guess the brutalizer. Could you just
Brut's
choose
okay.
between one of the two? I guess.
yeah, choose one, or like Ziggs shouldn't kill you, Zed. You probably don't need the magic resist. I understand that you're playing a magic champion in lane, but I don't know. It's like rushing Hourglass on certain mids. You don't see a lot in pro play because they recognize if they don't have Morellos in a dragon fight, they're going to be too weak. So they just have to bite the pillow and buy the most useful item they can.
Looks like Rek'Sai is gonna try and counter that split push by Zed. And he can do it too. He has the items.
That's a good flash by Volibear. But may not matter.
It looks
Perfect
like
time
they're
to
gonna
do
get
Baron.
2 kills here. Yeah, now would actually be a really good time to do that.
Somebody needs to be pinging Baron. I don't think shot calling is that important in solo queue, but right here is pretty obvious blip.
Even though spamming might be really annoying, just getting the point across that you need to take an objective is really helpful.
I think Vaughn made a good point in chat. He summarized what I was trying to say. Build to win, not to survive. Sometimes surviving is winning, but sometimes you need to build to win. In Rek'Sai, I don't like the Tiamat third. Usually if you're playing a bruiser, if you don't buy Hydra early, you don't buy it. You should, like, if he really wants a lifesteal item, Blade is probably better. If he really wants to do damage, Last Whisper is good. But, he should probably be getting tanky items in all honesty. If your AD carry has 11 items, you shouldn't be buying offensive items top. Or if your AD carry has 11 kills, I'm sorry. The red team taking Baron there. Yes! Yeah. I think Rex should be getting Port Dragon. Hey, now we got Banner Command.
Yeah, now they're kind of red team's a little split up. I guess.
I respect the Aegis against Maokai and 6 damage, and Leona does a lot of magic. I
Yeah.
think Locket would be way more useful just because of how much AoE red team has. Should red team have won the game 10 minutes ago? I would say 5. If somebody can like close out a game in 20 minutes somewhat consistently, they're probably not even a Battle Arena player. But I think 25 is a good goal for this game.
Yeah, so is there any way that blue can come back from this game, or...?
They really need to sweep out their jungle. You can't get picks if you're playing on wards. Zedbot warding totem and Volibear hasn't upgraded, and they really have had wards. If you look at their red jungle, pretty much all game. And
So after they take this Baron here, which I assume they're gonna get.
what, 140, 104.
Yeah, exactly.
The Tiamat Rek'Sai bot is good for one thing, and that's split pushing. Although he probably has
Yeah, I don't
wave
think there's
clear
anybody
back
on
for
blue
that.
team that can really handle that Rek'Sai right now.
I honestly think it'd take 2 of them.
And if
If
red
not
team
3.
sees that, they can go ahead and engage with their 4-man comp
Yeah.
on the other lane.
As
Blue
Zed
team-
here, if you ever want to be able to 1v1 Rek'Sai, you need a Last Whisper.
Yeah. Blue team isn't going to win a siege war versus red. They need to look for an uneven fight in their favor and start making some risky fights.
Yeah, they kind of do have to start taking
Yeah.
risks. Just look at,
Red
you know,
team-
like LMQ, their first, you know, season in the LCS. You kind of got to act like that sometimes, where you just go balls to the wall all the time,
Yeah.
even if you're behind.
Yeah, it's like you have, I don't know, you're laying on a hospital bed. Are you going to fight it, or are you just going to bleed out and die? I mean, you might die either way, but I'd rather
Yeah.
fight it.
Fight Volibear. You gotta do something.
The Volibear and Zed, I don't think they could have won, but if this game is closer, they really needed people to commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you see them go on Nami, you have to fight. Because while you probably won't win, it's a better fight than you're about to get.
Yeah, like all the attention is focused on Nami. That's some cooldowns that you don't have to deal with. But yeah.
Min
Alright,
max.
They could probably, red team can probably just end here if they,
Yeah, they can honestly just tower dive.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There you go, Zed.
It should be game for red team.
Hell is A clicking the creeps on accident. So hell, if you want to not accidentally attack move and click the creeps there's a new option they introduced 2 patches ago. Attack move on cursor. Really nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I do
Especially
too.
when I'm playing ADC.
On TF, when they walk into a bush, I don't gold card the fucking...
Don't get started on that BS.
Isn't it enabled already for people who don't have it on?
What? No, you have to go in and do it.
Oh, okay.
Even if you have attack move, you have to change from attack move regular to the new one. Alright, so...
That closes out the first game.
We're gonna look at the game.
Ooh.
If there's anything interesting. Kill. One of my bookmarks is the story of Ragnaros.
God dang it.
Here, instead of post-game review, we're gonna watch the story of Ragnaros, part 1 of 2. No, we'll do post-game review.
The wards are surprisingly close. That's the one thing I'm saying. But the thing is red team had a lot more quality wards.
And 34 minutes isn't necessarily a long game, but if you look at the kills and objectives, it took a while before the kills started ramping up for either team, really.
So before we start, Iron and Griptide has a question in chat. What does the new attack move do? So the old attack move, if you misclicked, it would click the closest thing to your character. So if a creep was right in front of you, it would...
Or a ward you had vision on.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The new attack move is if you misclick, it's the closest thing to your cursor.
Yeah.
It prioritizes champions.
Well, I
nice.
think you have to make that switch in the options. I'm not sure.
Alright, so wards placed. It's pretty close. Both teams really need to step up on the vision wards. Nautilus and Volibear not dropping a vision ward is top, and jungle is pretty good. Both teams really need to work on vision wards. And the wards destroyed were pretty... I don't know, I think Leona did a pretty good job. And so did Nami, 28 and 7, 28, 6 and 7, that's good. The biggest difference I noticed when junglers from like my coaching sessions and my solo queue games, or even games I'm observing that are above my own level, is junglers ward almost as much as supports. It's something you really have to get used to. And mid laners buy a lot of green wards in laning phase. So, looking at damage done. I think Zed needs to realize that Zed's win condition is making plays sometimes. And it looked like he was really scared to kill Ziggs at points. Points.
We saw him hesitate a couple times and not go in.
And it really affected his roam and his split push that he never had sweeper. Usually if you're playing a champion and you see your team is losing and you need to roam, and he was doing well enough in lane to roam, if you roam on wards against Ziggs, he just takes tower. You need to be clearing those wards. The Zed in Battle Arena this week did a pretty good job at that if anybody wants to go back and watch that game. I think he was a smurf, but he did a good job at sweeping vision and last hitting. Volibear, get a sweeper. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of really awkward, indecisive play.
Yeah, when you're playing champions like Volibear and Nautilus, you have to be very distinct on what you want to do, and you have to do it. If not, you're basically just gonna screw yourself over.
Yeah, there's some champs like Echo where you dance around to fight and kind of dive in and out, but when you're playing Nautilus and Volibear, once you go in, you got to go in.
Yeah, I probably would have prioritized mid a little bit more and try to get Zed snowballing. Because I didn't see him mid at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Ziggs using his satchel charges in order to harass.
Yeah.
He kept ooming himself because of it.
Alright, so Tristana, wave control is helpful to work on. I can find the bookmark for that for you if you're interested. It really helps you keep up mid-game farm when you're losing on an AD carry, just because you make sure that the wave's pushing back to you every time. And you can do it with Tristana passive or Draven and keep axes up. It's a little different for champions that push the wave a little bit more, but it's still doable. Also, when you're losing lane to Leona, don't let it snowball. Respect when you don't have summoners and play like you don't have summoners. Now, 2 things to work on. buy Locket and watch bot lane a little more. There are a couple of times where Tristana got engaged on that you were just like off doing something and it was kind of awkward.
Yeah, I saw, when she was there, she did a pretty good job of helping peel for Tristana, but at a certain point, Sivir was just too far ahead for that to really make the difference. But I saw, some good things. Did anybody notice her bubble use at all? If she was trying to use it to engage or use it reactively?
She's using it pretty correct. Correct.
Good. All right.
And a lot of times you want to bubble the AD carry, but against Sivir, it's often better to bubble Leona in this matchup. So she played the matchup pretty well. Nautilus, you got a kill early, and then you just didn't hit CS for like 5 minutes, and Rek'Sai snowballed on you. I think it's...
Also, your play became really indecisive. When you wanted to...
muted.
Right after you both came back, you backed, he died. You had the slight advantage. You kept trying to go in to trade with him, but as soon as he start doing damage, you cancel your own auto animation and just walk away. You lose your entire shield, and then you try to trade. As Nautilus, your entire core of trading comes from your shield. Not only because it's a shield, but it provides a lot of damage over time.
And top Nautilus, there are 2 routes you can take as well. There's W max and E max. You need to play around what you max. And if you max W, you really need to trade effectively with W. And he did max W that game. Tristana, don't worry about having a poor game in Bronze Bootcamp. It doesn't really matter if you win or lose. The goal is for everybody to take something away from the game. So if you have any questions or any more questions, feel free to ask them in chat. But I mean, it's fine to have a bad game, dude. I have them all the time.
Oh yeah.
Sivir, I think you could have been a little more decisive in your play. I think you kind of wandered around with your team. And your team as a whole is kind of responsible for turning a 25-minute game into a 35-minute game. But other than that, I think Sivir just played generally pretty well. Rek'Sai, I don't like the Hydra third. Other than that, can anybody else think of stuff for Rek'Sai?
No.
Teleport usage for both top laners was really poor.
If you're looking for a gank bot lane, make sure you communicate with your support to try to put some wards on the back line of the bot side. It's really going to help you a long way, especially if you see them engaging.
Ziggs. Satchel's use was really awkward. So there are some harass combos with Satchel and a passive Satchel and a Q. Generally, 1, not something you do without blue buff. 2, not something you use to harass if they can kill you. There are a couple times where you Satcheled Volibear and he could have flipped you in a closer game. And it was really, really awkward for me. But other than that...
You fly farther with Satchel than you launched them.
Yeah. And just, I would say work on CS for both mid laners. I think Zed and Ziggs, Zed needs to keep his CS high to be relevant, and Ziggs needs to keep his CS high to buffer his mid game. Because control mages can have issues in the mid game, and that's why I'm not a big fan of recommending control mages to people who don't have good CS. Because I don't know, let's take Lux for example. Lux is weak just sitting on Athene's. But 3 items Lux is crazy. So, how do you, I don't know, bridge that gap? Last hitting, usually. Because you can't solo kill Lux unless they suck.
Yeah.
Leona and Maokai, check what the other person is building. Try not to have 2 Righteous Glories. Also, let's see what else we have here. I don't think Mikhail's would have been a bad third buy. It looks like you're going towards an armor item. You were tanky enough, and I think Mikhail's face is a crazy combo. Sivir would have been unkillable. Also, remember to upgrade your trinket. And you could have roamed mid a couple of times. I think you stayed in lane a little longer than you needed to. Maokai. Look to be more aggressive with flash W ganks. Try and, if you're playing a more control-oriented jungle, try and get some wards in their jungle. Just ward their wraiths at 8 and you'll catch second red, or a couple of easy ones like that. And Don't be afraid to start blue on Maokai either. Most Maokai jungles I know do it. I mean, the camp just dies instantly with your bot lane. And then you can go like blue wolves scuttle. And then Gromp with smite. And you'll be half health instead of no health. Anybody else have anything?
No, it's pretty well covered.
Alright. So we're going to take a break. We're going to send invites out. If you played, stream will go down for a minute between games. If you played in a previous game, please give it 1 or 2 minutes for new players to get in. And don't be afraid to ask any questions about...
Yeah, if there's anybody in Twitch chat who wants to play in this game, speak up now. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you have questions about this game, the game that's going on, or just general questions about League of Legends, feel free to put them in chat or add any of us. Alright,
Alright,
we'll
cool.
take a break.